All right, Genesis 2, let's call this one whole. Why? Because not too long ago, I got the opportunity to listen to a gentleman talk about the Bible and how impractical it is for actual leadership, especially national leadership. And somebody I was really impressed by, to this day still am impressed by. But the thing that I was disappointed in was the fact that he left out the whole story, which actually comes from this chapter. Because in making his point, he indicated that it would be ridiculous for us to try to create a child protection system based on a book that told Abraham to go and sacrifice his son, his one and only son. And of course, that would be impractical. But the whole story is found in the rest of the chapter, where in particular God says, Abraham, do not harm your son. And so, of course, you can point to other points in the word where there are some very questionable passages, but the point is, if you got those other passages, you should probably use them, as opposed to truncating, or in simple terms, shortening the story to fit the particular point you want to make. And is that something that that individual has to worry about all by his lonesome? No, because we all fall into the tendency to reduce a story to the points that benefit us. As a matter of fact, if I'm not doing anything more than just straight reading the scripture to you, this is a very different presentation. The difference is that hopefully I am trying to tell the whole story in context, even if I'm not reading it verbatim. And that really goes again to a point that we're getting at in multiple lessons. The same thing done by different people can have very different outcomes depending upon the motives of the individuals. And it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we check our motives when we're telling the story. Why? Even if you don't believe in the Bible, you want people to tell your story accurately, because you got a reputation generally you care about. And there comes a point in time where we can be so frustrated at the fact that we can't trust people to retell our stories, or for that matter, any stories accurately, that we just get to the point where we throw our hands up and say, look, I don't care what you say about me. But up until that point, it tends to matter. And so the rest of this individual's story was, in a very short period of time, I got to see him deal with the frustration of being over and over again misrepresented by those who were telling his story, primarily those in the media, and particularly those who are opposing him in his ventures to lead. And so it reminded me that even though it can seem convenient to either truncate or boil a story down to what is convenient for us to advance our point at the time, we gotta realize we're trying to tell our story too. And the way that we tell other stories is the way we can expect our story to be told. And so the Bible, even though it may seem like it's impractical, the least we can do is find a point that actually illustrates accurately the point that we're trying to make, as opposed to chopping up points and serving them up in a way that's really more geared to our self-interest, as opposed to truly telling the story as it's written. So my hope for you is my hope for me, that none of us will give into the temptation to twist anyone's story in a way that really serves our own interest and not the interest of truth, because truth can seem cumbersome until we need it.